Well, folks, we have some huge news related to the 2026 Senate elections. Dick Durbin, the number 2 Senate Democrat, will retire after 44 years in Congress. 44 years. He has been the number 2 in the Senate after Chuck Schumer. He has been the number 2, the whip for the party for, I believe, roughly about a decade now. But he has been for almost 2 decades and has been a leading liberal voice on Capitol Hill, will not seek re-election, closing out a 44-year congressional career focused on immigration, the federal judicial system, and anti-smoking initiatives. Now, it's expected that he will announce sometime today that he will not be running in 2026 for re-election. Now, granted, Illinois is a safe Democrat state. There's no doubt about this. You can look back on these elections from the past. Look back on this. I think he was in 20. Look at this. He won by 16 points in 2020. You go to 2014, he won by 10 points. You go back to 2008, he won by almost 40 points. Almost 40 points he won by. 2002, 22 points. 96 when he was initially elected, 15 points. Obviously a very, very safe Democrat seat, which is going to set off a huge primary in the Democrat Party in the state of Illinois, because we know most likely whoever wins this election, whoever wins this primary will be the next senator from the state of Illinois. Now, obviously, there's a lot of names that could jump in this race as of right now. Currently, we have the current Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, the current Lieutenant Governor of Illinois, Lauren Underwood, who's a representative from Illinois' 14th Congressional District, who have both thrown their name out there for public interest. They feel like this is an opportunity for them to run in this race and to replace Dick Durbin, who has really been a powerhouse in the Senate for almost 3 decades at this point. He has been a powerhouse. He oversaw the nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. She really pulled her through that nomination process. And he also saw that during the Biden administration, Biden nominated, and they were able to confirm in the Senate 235 judges. 235 federal judges during the Biden administration, which is a huge feat, surpassed by 1 the number of judges confirmed by Republicans during an aggressive push in Mr. Trump's first term. So obviously very close, really trying to outcompete with the Trump administration what they did during Trump's first administration when they were pushing huge change to the federal judiciary system. We know Mitch McConnell, that was his baby. The federal judiciary system, that's where he saw the win, that's where he thought he could win. But ultimately, we know the next 18 months is going to be a battle in a very competitive primary now, which is pretty rare in Illinois to see a very, very competitive primary like this. But we know that Senate Democrats, they will line up. And he's been resisting these calls for a while. There have been a lot of calls for many years for him to really just to resign. He's been a longtime force on the Judiciary Committee, became the chairman in 2021, and resisted calls from the progressive wing of the party to make room for younger members, given his leadership role and other legislative responsibilities. So obviously, they've been trying to push him out for a while. But ultimately, the number 2 Democrat in the Senate will not be running for re-election. This is going to be a very interesting battle within the Democrat Party, a serious primary. Now, ultimately, we only have about 2 serious contenders who have publicly expressed interest. You could see a lot of people jump in this race. There is a lot of different people who could jump in this race now that we know that we know that it's going to be an open primary. You could see people like J.B. Pritzker, but then you really he's got to determine, what does he want to do? Is Pritzker going to run for president in 2028? Because I think a 2026 Senate bid would really complicate that. Same thing with Rahm Emanuel, who was the ambassador to Japan. He was the former mayor of Chicago. He was the chief of staff for Barack Obama. He's talked about running in 2028. A 26 Senate bid could very much complicate that. It could very much complicate a presidential bid. Not only if he won it, it would complicate it, but if he ran in it too, that could very much complicate it. But a number of other people, like the Illinois State Treasurer, the Illinois Secretary of State, and some other representatives from the state of Illinois have shown that there's potential, and I'm gonna expect this list to grow heavily. I expect this list to double or triple over the next couple weeks as the real groundwork for who will replace the number 2. It's like, this guy has been in the Senate since 1966. He will have been in the Senate for 30 years. 30 years this guy's been in the Senate. And now it's going to be over with here soon. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out ultimately. If you're looking at a, actual what our prediction is, it's like you can look at the 27 to win, 270 to win map right now. And this is kind of where I would have the map as of right now. Illinois is not changing. This is still a safe Democrat seat. Republicans really don't have any possibility of picking this seat up. There would have to be a miracle. A meteor would have to smoke the United States in order for that to happen. That is just the reality of this situation. But to recap, Dick Durbin, the number 2 Senate Democrat, will not be seeking re-election in the 2026 Senate election. That is going to wrap things up for today, folks. Let me know your thoughts down below, and we will catch you next time.